Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Sunday afternoon online class. There are some Vaman Kshetra devotees who are a little busy with some regular devotional commitments, so they may join a little late, which is okay. Okay, let's start with Mangalacharan. Om Jnana Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Nathapi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuthapatikalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sadvijatam Sahegana Raghunathamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahigana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarivescha Kripa Sindhubhye Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna everyone. You can see my screen and you can hear me probably as well.
Yes.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So we are doing the 4th chapter. So last week we did the first class, I think. So today is the 2nd class. Let's do a quick revision of this 4th chapter, what we have already covered. This chapter is entitled by Prabhupada as Transcendental Knowledge. And in the Sanskrit name, anyone remembers the Sanskrit name of the 4th chapter? Gyan. So can you say again, Prabhuji? There are 2 people speaking, so I could not hear. Thank you, Prabhuji. Jnana Karma Sannyas Yoga. Okay, so this is the middle chapter between 3rd and 5th. So 3rd entitled as Karma Yoga, and then the 5th is Sannyasa Karma Yoga. So this is Jnana Karma Sannyas Yoga. Now in this, there are 5 sections. So we have already almost covered the first section, which is the transcendental knowledge about Krishna. We have covered. We already started the 2nd section last week. So Krishna is the goal of all paths and creator of Varnashram. So we'll be reading about creator of Varnashram today. And next almost 9 verses are dedicated to Karma Yoga. I'll describe how this series have started. And then we have next 2 sections. So let's go to 4.9 where we started last week. One of the most famous verses. Maybe Rasanand Prabhu or Vijay Gopi Mataji, would you like to do this one? This is a big verse.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. I think partly we did last week.
Yes.
Previous week we continued. Okay, translation 4.9. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So here the key words like Janma means birth. Divyam, that's the key word here, transcendental. And Tattvataha, so that is in reality. So here we are talking about the Tattva also means truth. So it's talking about understanding the activities, Krishna's activities, particularly with his appearance and his activities. Ones who understand that they don't come back to this material world, they don't take birth in this material world. So we have to see what is the transcendental nature of his appearance. So that the Vivium is the key. So what you were mentioning is one who understands the philosophy and one who understands the philosophy of his appearance. So what he is, why he is appearing, what is appearing, and understanding the various leelas. So that's the one which you take them back to this spiritual world. Hmm?
Like you were telling about the process and the result in this verse, Prabhu. The process is the first line. Like if we know the appearance and the activities of Krishna, then the result is like we do not take birth after leaving this body. There is no rebirth, and Janma is not the birth. It's actually the appearance of the Lord.
Yeah.
So and the other key point which you said is Divyam. Divyam is celestial. That is anything which is higher than the material things. That is transcendental. And when we so like we see the things in different way, but actually like they do not appear actually what they see. They appear to be like that is called Divyam. And each and every action of Krishna is Divyam, is transcendental. So like each and every action of Krishna is a Leela. So that is a Divyam, which is transcendental.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also on Tattva, you were mentioning like why Krishna is stealing. Is it true? Like everything. So we are also talking about everything belongs to Krishna. He is the proprietor of everything.
And everything is within Krishna.
And everything is.
So he transfers one thing from one pocket to another pocket. That's not stealing. And he's a proprietor as well. And also when we're talking about the word Leela, so we have to understand what we do is based on our karma. We are forced to act in a certain way based on our karma and desires and all those things. But Krishna, every time he does something, it's completely based on his desire. Whatever he likes, whatever way he likes, whenever he likes, he can do it. And we see that in the example of which I gave last week.
The director.
Sorry?
The director, Yogamaya.
Example of the drama. Thank you, Mataji. Can you explain that?
Yes, Prabhu. In this, like if you see a screenplay, then we have a director and the actor and a scriptwriter. Here the director is Yogamaya and Krishna is acting as well as he is the scriptwriter because he knows what to do when. And then just the Yogamaya as director, for example, like if he wants to, like forget about he is the supreme personality. So Yogamaya just covers him like that. I'm not the supreme personality. I'm the young child of Mother Yashoda. So that example.
And the example we can take from say Damodar Leela. Krishna was really crying. Krishna was really scared. He was not making crocodile tears. He was scared of Mother Yashoda. But the same Krishna, when Trinavarth comes, so a moment he is forgetful of his own position, and the second moment he gets reminded because now Trinavarthi is here. I have to change my role. He comes out of the lap of Mother Yashoda. He makes himself very, very heavy, and we see that in Damodar Leela as well. He look at the Yamlarjun trees. Oh, they are the devotees. They're not devotees. They are the people who were cursed by Narad Muni, my dear devotee. So I have to fulfill the desire of Narad Muni. And he goes and delivers them. And he still remains the same child. So he is in full control. Whenever, whatever is needed for love to reign in the Leela, he does that Leela accordingly. And that's why his every action is called Divya. Whether it's appearance in jail of Mathura, he appears in four-handed form. No other child can do that. He tells the father and mother about their 3 previous births. This Janma is Divya Karma. Every single activity you can see how Krishna is so different. And when we know this difference in Krishna's activity and Krishna's appearance, then a normal human activity, we understand him. So we also become transcendental. And then when we become transcendental, what happens? Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sojo. So he says 2 things. Na iti. So na iti, he will not come back. And the next question, what does happen to this soul? Mam iti, he comes back to me. It's very, very nice verse, very easy to understand verse. So if we understand Krishna's Leela in that way, Otherwise, many people approach Krishna, they do PhD on Krishna's Govardhan Leela, this and that, they do it. So theoretically, they gain a lot of knowledge about Krishna. Intellectually, they may have more knowledge about Krishna. Many Brahmanas in India, the Karmkandi Brahmanas, they have a lot of knowledge about Krishna, but what's the realization about Krishna? Zero. And we see that in Bhagavatam as well. Yajna Patnis, for example, their husbands were worshipping Krishna with lots of mantras, big yajnas, and they were very perfect what they were doing. But when Krishna's friends came and said, Krishna is close by and he's hungry, give him some food, what do they respond? Get out from here. Huh? They did not even bother responding. Oh, they're just boys disturbing us. We are busy in yajna. Yajna for what purpose? The purpose of yajna was right there. But we see in the Prithu Maharaj pastime, when Brahmaji came to Prithu Maharaj, don't do the yajna. Lord Vishnu will be pleased just by you doing 99 yajnas. You don't have to do the 100th yajna. Huh? So although externally the activity was incomplete by Prithu Maharaj, externally, but he got the purpose of the activity, which was to please Vishnu, and Vishnu did come. And Vishnu not only came alone, he came with Indra, and Indra apologized to Prithu Maharaj. So many times we get stuck with the activity and the result in this material world. So if you have doing an engineering degree, you have 50 exams to pass. Even if one exam is not passed, will you get the degree of engineering or medical? You will not. You have to pass all the 50 exams under their conditions. But in bhakti, if you have done 49% bhakti, 1% is left. Where do you start next life from? Same, 49%. So neha vikarmana shosti pratyavaya na vidyate. So in this bhakti line, there is no loss. Wherever you have stopped, you start from there. And not only that, even externally, if the attempt looked incomplete, still Krishna accepts as complete business. You have done your business. There's nothing much for you to do. Prithu Maharaj, you can come back. So that's very beautiful analogy, very, very beautiful analogy. So this is how we can understand, try to understand Krishna in Tattvataha. What is Krishna? And this is why very hard to understand Krishna. And that's why we need Shastra. And not only the Shastra, we need the explanations of the Shastra by Acharya like Prabhupada. And then he can explain us what it really means. What it really means. And once we see Krishna or Krishna Leela through the eyes of Prabhupada or other Acharyas, then we can understand, whoa, wow, this is what Krishna meant. You know, you read the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baldev Vidya Bhushan. Just a simple verse you would have heard 100 times, but when you read their explanation, wow, it's amazing. You read Sarartha Darshani, you read Sanatana Goswami Tika on 10th canto. So many nice things come out. And then we say, wow, no, this is Krishna. This is Indra. Totally different, totally different. So this is called Tattvataha. So once you understand Krishna in Tattvataha, then what happens? We also become transcendental and we are eligible, or we become eligible to go back to him. Right? And Krishna is himself promising that. Okay, let's go to the next one. Hare Krishna 4.10. Hare Krishna Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, this one actually, due to some, I don't have my notes with me, so I won't be able to comment today on this one. So.
That's okay, Mataji. That's okay. Jai Prakash Prabhu, would you like to do that?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Just a white tripod. Hold on. So the translation is being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me. Many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all have attained transcendental love for me. So in this, Lord is giving like what are the main reasons which will because of them one would not be able to get himself purified, or he won't be able to advance in Krishna consciousness. So there are three things which has been highlighted here. One is attachment and fear and anger. So attachment, I think some of the important points in the sloka were Vita, which is freed from, and Raga, attachment, Bhaya, fear, Krodha is anger. and Matmaya. So it's completely absorbed in him. So I think we discussed, like, it's very difficult in the material world one to be completely free from everything, at least attachments. So the one thing which you mentioned is instead one need to try to dovetail Krishna's service. And you also gave an example, right? If somebody was he was riding in the boat, and when there is an anchor, even though throughout the night he was trying to row the boat, but he still remained the same. So some of these are like pitfalls or the stumbling blocks in one's advancing in the Krishna consciousness if they have attachments. And also we have discussed it's not only just the attachment to the wrong things is what is we should try to avoid. If it's a spiritual attachment, which is always good, uh, like you also gave an example, if child is cribbing for small things, sometimes parents will say they will understand, but at the same time they will try to slowly help him in coming out of those attachments. And also the next point on the fear we discussed around, obviously in the material world everybody is at times they become fearful, because whether it's their job, health, or family members, or for future yeah, they can it, it's like bhaya, what we call it. And pure devotees, as they've been in practicing for some time, and because of the grace of the devotees and the Lord, gradually they try to reduce these attachments. And like we talked about the example of Arjuna, he chooses Lord, even though he got an option of choosing Narayani Sena or Krishna, but he was very happy to choose Krishna because he being his uh, best friend, and also he knows that he is the Lord, Supreme Lord. So he just want to befriend him instead of whether he wins the war or he gets. So he was not too worried about what is going to happen, but he was happy to just be with Krishna and take his instructions. So upashrita is another word which is completely reliant on Krishna. And as when we have the knowledge which will bring us closer to Krishna, and slowly, gradually, one gets purified. And you also gave one example of pills, like even though for material diseases we may take a pill, but it will have an only interim kind of a solution. So unless until one takes the shelter of Krishna, and with knowledge and giving our mind to Krishna, gradually one gets purified, and he with God's grace, and he can get the transcendental love for him, which can arise in his heart. That's all the notes I have, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very, very nice. Just one thing I was thinking, maybe we can just, although you have said it, I'll just connect it. So these three are stumbling blocks, as you said, Prabhuji, in spiritual advancement. So we can connect it back to 4.9. These three stops us in knowing Krishna Tattvataha, in truth. Because of these three things, we are not able to know Krishna in Tattvataha. And because we are not able to know Krishna in Tattvataha, we keep taking birth again and again in this material world. So there's a clear connection between 4.9 and 4.10. And as you said, raga is attachment. Attachments are not wrong as far as they're for the right thing. Attachment to Vaishnavas and Lord is the best thing you can have. Mother Yashoda is supremely attached to her baby, isn't it? All the mothers are attached to the babies. So how can we say Mother Yashoda is not? No, Devaki is attached. Vasudev is attached. Nanda Baba is attached. Gopis are attached to Krishna. So attachments are not condemned. Attachment to the right thing. That's what is needed. So we just have to understand that bhaya. Why do we have bhaya? As you said, Prabhuji, for future we have bhaya. But why do we have bhaya? Because future is not in control. This is everything in the material world is uncertain. The only certain thing in the material world is, anyone knows what's a certain thing in the material world? Yes, Vijay Gopi Mataji.
Death, Prabhu.
Death is certain. Yeah. But the timing of death is also uncertain. So it says the only certain thing in the material world is that everything is uncertain. It's just going around. So everything is uncertain. Like You should always remember Vishnu and never forget Vishnu. Huh? So everything is uncertain. The only certain thing in this material world is that everything includes everything is uncertain. Huh? Obviously, death is certain. That's why it's called Mrityu Loka. Huh? If you go above the Mrityu Loka, which is Prithvi Loka, which is called Swarg Loka, huh? Death is there, but it's certain. It's a certain time. But for us, when we will die, no one knows. We'll survive through the class. We're not too sure, actually. We are hoping that we will not leave the body. Yeah, if it happens, it's nice. Gaur Govind Maharaj, while giving class in Mayapur, he left the body. That's the best departure. In Mayapur, you're giving, glorifying Krishna. And he said, Gopal. And that's it. Maharaj left this material world like that. So it's amazing, huh? Very few devotees leave like that. Anyway, it's uncertain whether we'll survive through next 2 or 1.5 hours. So bhaya is because of that we have no certainty in the world. But when we take ashraya of Krishna, then do we get some certainty? Yes, we are actually okay many times, if not in a bigger scale, at least on a smaller scale. We know if Krishna is with us, it's okay. It's okay. And as we realize more and more of this aspect that Krishna is there all the time, and whatever he is doing, he is our well-wisher. We don't have to be fearful of any situation at all. Then we have no bhaya. Huh? A little child has no bhaya because the child is with the parents. Anything comes, child is not going to deal with it. Mother or father will deal with it. And in the material world, mother and father are limited. They have limited Shakti, they have limited potency, they have limited potential. But Krishna's potential and Krishna's Shakti is unlimited. So when you are with Krishna, what's the bhai? What's the bhai? When Maharaj was sort of very, very sick in the hospital, he had all the needles everywhere. One of his disciples, also very famous, not for our sampradaya, different sampradaya, but the logic is very nice. So his disciple, who's very famous, went to see his Guru Maharaj in the hospital. It says all of his body parts were needled because he had certain big things. Anyway, so in that condition, this disciple goes to Guru Maharaj and says, Guru Maharaj, Radharani will do the best. When you're leaving, you say, okay, Krishna will take care of the situation. So he used the word will. Radharani will take care of you. Radharani will do the best. And his Guru Maharaj got upset. He said, is she not taking care good right now? He had nothing to say back. He had nothing to say back. Huh? Is she not taking care correctly right now? You have any doubt? And this disciple, who was, again, himself is a big person, he had nothing to say back because Guru was right. Guru was feeling that even now I'm in hospital bed, I can leave the body any moment. His whole body was needled in ICU. But he's saying, is she not taking care of me right now very well? And that's such a great lesson. We think the situations will improve, but we don't have faith in situations are improved right now. Prahlad had that faith. Prahlad was not looking for future, when my father will leave the body. Many times we have this, when this person will go away, from me or from my life, and then I'll be a little relaxed. Prahlad was fully convinced right now the situation is best. My father, whatever he is doing, that is based on Krishna's desire. It's a very high level to understand, but because of that, we have bhaya. We don't have faith in Krishna. But once we have faith in Krishna, Gopinath is there. He will do it. He is there. I'm doing my duty. I'm doing my part. And what happens, Gopinath will take care of. Then we lose the bhaya. And krodha also same thing, because we get frustrated. Our desires, good or bad, whatever, they're unfulfilled. Then we get krodha. Oh, why this didn't happen? Why that didn't happen? But when Krishna is in control, we are not the controller. Krishna is in control. Then we have no krodha. Oh, I wanted A, but Krishna gave me B. It's all right. B will be better than A because I am very small. My father is very big. So he knows what's best for me. He has given B to me. So I'm happy with B. Where's the krodha? Because we get krodha. Oh, why B? Why not A? I wanted A. I worked for A. I have to get A. I get attached to A. But Krishna says, no, you get B, or maybe you get Z. What you never thought that will happen to you. That's what Krishna wants. So when we have this full acceptance of Krishna is the controller, I'm not the controller, I do my best and leave rest to Krishna, then the krodha is also gone. So there is raga is no problem, bhaya and krodha we can manage by understanding Krishna's position in tattvataha. Then these obstacles cannot stop us. the Vita, we get freed from it just by understanding Krishna. And it's so interlinked together. The more we read about Krishna, the more we come closer to Krishna. At least that's the purpose. Reading about Krishna is not about increasing our knowledge basis, how many shlokas we know. No, that's not the purpose. It's coming closer to Krishna. And when we come closer to Krishna, we appreciate Krishna so much. Then we have more and more faith in Krishna. And one day our faith is fully blossomed. And that's called prema. And then we are in the spiritual world right now. We don't have to leave the body, leave Sydney. Nothing we have to leave. It's just the consciousness which we have to leave. And it's a process. It's not, as Chaitanya Prabhu says, it's not something digital, 0 or 1. No, it's a whole journey. And the journey may take many lifetimes. Anyway, very nice. So, Man Maya Mam Upashita, you take shelter of me. Man Maya, you give your mind to me. Right now, we're giving mind to whom? To all our material needs, our unfulfilled desire. All our mind is there. If that project becomes unsuccessful, what I'm going to do? If I lose my job, if I lose my health, if I lose my family, if I lose my money, if I lose my reputation, what will happen to me? Me, and me. It may be in a good sense, but it's all about me. And when we become devotee, or we try to become devotee, this me consciousness gets moved to Krishna consciousness. We are more conscious about Krishna than about me. Whatever happens to me, it's all right. Krishna is there. He will take care of me. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, even I am living or I am dead, you are still my Lord. You're my Lord unconditionally. Srimati Radharani says, Sikshastakam, 8th verse, Asli Seva Padratam Pinashtumam. You are my Lord unconditionally. There's no condition. Only when I get success, you are my super duper lovable Lord. When I get failure in my life, oh Krishna, maybe I should look at Durga ji, or why not Ganesh ji, maybe Lakshmi ji, maybe some astrologer, maybe this Baba or that Baba, because we have not understood Krishna, how much he loves us. Okay, so, and then second line, third or fourth, you can say, Bahvo Gyana Tapsa, many in the past. Puta means Putra. What does Putra mean, anyone? One who, yeah?
Purified.
Puta is purification, is Putra, I ask Putra. One who does Tra from Puta. Tra means Tran, mantra. Manah trayate iti mantra. So one who does Tran. Tran means deliver from Puta. Puta is one of the hell actually. So there's a hell known as Puta. So one who does Tran. So if your children or grandchildren do the right thing, they become devotee. Even if I'm fallen into the hell called Puta, my child will take me out. That is called Putra. And my Putra is not eligible for that. In Shastra, in Bhagavatam, it's called Mutra. Mutra means urine. So you can be a Putra or Mutra. So Putra means you can deliver your ancestors from that hell. Then you have a right to become Putra. Nowadays, everyone is about their rights, am I inheriting my father's property? I'm the Putra. Are you a Putra? Not sure. So Putra is a very big term, very, very big term. And that Putra or Putri who delivers their parents or their family from that hell. So to deliver them, we have to become very much purified. So this is called Puta. Puta means purification here. Madbhavam, my transcendental love. They have achieved my transcendental love. So very beautiful verse. 4:11. Kanika Mataji, Hare Krishna. That's another very important verse. Prabhupada loved this verse. And we also love it. Very nice.
Sorry, Prabhu. Mute button press nahi ho raha. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajami aham mam vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. Oh, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pratha. So, Prabhu, in 4.9, Krishna explains the process. So he says, the process, if you know, you can basically come to me and not be involved in the birth and death. But the problem is because in 4.10 we talk about these three anarthas that we have, which we need to get rid of. And so in this verse, he actually says, yes, the process is so easy, but then still people can attain that process. And that is because this talks about the reciprocation Krishna has with his devotees, or even the non-devotees, because as we have heard, even the atheists, they have some faith. So everyone has a faith. whether it's faith towards Krishna or whether it's faith that God doesn't exist. So Manushya Partha Sarvasha.
Mataji, you're on mute somehow.
Oh, sorry, Prabhu.
It's okay.
So the last line says, Manushya Partha Sarvasha. So all the Manushyas, O Partha. So Sarvasha is everyone in all respects. Mama Vartaman Nuvartante. So Mam means they follow me, Mam. Vartaman means the path that I show. So some path that Krishna has. Anuvartante means they follow. So all the people follow some path that is shown by Krishna. Now that path, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stateva bhajamiham. So either they surrender into me, so the prapadyante is the surrendering part to Krishna, or the other path is where people don't follow towards him. So, but what happens if you do surrender unto me or you don't surrender unto me, tam stateva bhajamiham. The people who have any kind of those services, to them, tathaiva bhajamiham, I actually reciprocate in that proper way, in the same way that they surrender, if it's either surrender to him or away from him. So this part just talks about that, Prabhu, that Krishna only reciprocates as per our desire. And our desire may be different. And for instance, some people may worship Krishna as a kid. Some people may worship Krishna as the all supreme personality. Some people follow as Brahma Jyoti. So Krishna will reciprocate in a proper way. Some may go into, he opens the path to everybody. So he may take people in his Brahma Jyoti. Some may go to the transcendental world and reciprocate in a proper way. Or there are then some atheists who then follow their own path. So in one way or other, we are all either going towards or away. We are all on a process, on a path, either towards him or away from him. That's the essence, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for connecting nicely from 4.9. So we can take 4.9 as a base, and all these verses are actually just following that verse, because that's like a key principal verse. Once we understand it, then Krishna explains what are the other things which stops us to understand it. As Mataji nicely said, ye tha mam prapadyante. So if these three things stop us, which is explained in 4.10, why don't everyone surrenders? Because everyone has different degrees of surrender. They all surrender, but different degrees of surrender. And also Krishna talks about going towards Krishna or going away from Krishna, the path, specific highway or whatever. We're all driving, but we are driving towards the temple or away from temple. So everything, including the negative things, so-called negative things of the world, like alcohol and drugs and all those things, which doesn't take us towards Krishna, they're also created by Krishna. So aham sarvasya prabhu, Krishna is the creator of everything, but within that we have to choose with discrimination what takes us towards Krishna and what takes us away from Krishna. We cannot say it's all created by Krishna, so this will take us towards Krishna. No, not like that. Okay, next one for 12. Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I didn't attend last week.
Okay, no problem, Mata.
Do you want me to try?
No, that's okay. That's okay. Someone else who attended, Sakhi Radhika Mataji is here, or Jamati Mataji, anyone?
So I'll try.
Okay.
Men in this world desire success in fructive activities, and therefore they worship. Of course, men get results from fructive work in this world. So here, I just remember a little bit. Here, the question which like Krishna answers here is, why do people come? Why do not people come directly or immediately to Krishna when it is being mentioned in the previous that everybody is attracted to Krishna?
Yes.
Then why doesn't they come? So because they want success in actions, and there are desires. Everybody has desires. Krishna is answering here, karma nam. So because of desires, and everybody wants quick success. The word shikram is there. I think we explained that. So so that's why when everyone wants quick success and everyone wants the success to their actions immediately, that's why they go to the yajanta iha devata. They go to the devatas for quick like results.
So yeah, I just remember a little bit from.
That's okay, Mataji. No, you have said the gist. So why people don't go to Krishna directly? Because in this material world, Manushe Loke, just choose some words here. In this Manushe Loke, in the Loka where we are residing right now, so people have desires, Kankshantaha, and in the desires, what they want, success. Anyone has a desire to become failure in any project. Everyone wants success. Even if you're going in the kitchen for cooking something, you want success. The sabji should come out nicely. The peda or barfi, whatever you're cooking, should come out nicely. You go out on work, you want your day to be successful. You want good relation with your colleagues, and in the traveling, you should not have any troubles and blah, blah, blah. For future also, we all have our plans and we want success in those plans. So, and how we want success in the plans? Shipram. Shipram is quickly. Kaun banega karodpati? Who will become the millionaire overnight? That will be nice. Just we click some buttons on the computer and we become millionaire tomorrow. We don't have to go to work and this and that. So they want quick results for their fruitive actions. So how do they achieve that? Again, we are talking the pious people, not impious people. Impious people do all the other sorts of things, but here we are talking pious. Yajant iha devata. Iha refers to, in this loka, in this universe, devata, they are demigods. So these people who want quick results for their desires, they go to the demigods. And siddhir bhavati karmaja, and sometimes they get success as well. So Prabhupada said, men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship demigods. Quickly, of course, men get result from fruitive work in this world. So if someone is working now, quickly here obviously refers, sanction of Krishna has to be there. Updrashta anumantacha bharta bhokta maheshwara. So without the sanction of Krishna, you cannot get any result. So when you say quickly here, I think last week Rupa Prabhu was saying, even this quick is not so quick. Hiranyakashipu was worshipping Brahmaji for 36,000 years. That's not so quick. Ravana was worshipping Lord Shiva. He had to give his 10 heads to Lord Shiva before he got the boon. So it's not so quick. And actually, you read in Bhagavatam, pleasing Krishna, even Bhagavad Gita as well, pleasing actually is much quicker. It looks like externally it's hard. Dhruv Maharaj attained Krishna in how many months? 6 months only. So that's sort of quick. Prahlad Maharaj attained Krishna at the age of 5. Not so bad. So, and Krishna can be worshipped with Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. No demigods, no Indra will come to you just by offering a leaf or a flower or little water. But Krishna can come to you with leaf, water, flower. So Krishna worship actually is very, very quick. But externally speaking, why people don't go to Krishna? Because they know, if I go to Krishna, my desires will be purified, not fulfilled only, purified. Then I will not have any desire to worship Krishna. I was listening Radheshyam Prabhu, when he was explaining one of the boys in one of the engineering college. He called Radheshyam Prabhu one day and he said, Prabhuji, he was chanting 16 rounds, by the way. So Prabhuji, can I worship demigod? I have, some worldly desires. He expressed that. I have some worldly desires. Can I pray to some demigods? So Radheshyam Prabhu said, why do you have to worship demigods? You can explain your desire to Krishna as well. He said, the problem with worshipping Krishna is, with those desires, that Krishna will purify my desires. So I will not have desire to enjoy, but I want to enjoy. So people are actually scared. They understand Krishna will fulfill the desire, but how? In a purified way. Dhruv Maharaj got the kingdom, but when he got the kingdom, did he really wanted the kingdom? No. Krishna asked, what do you want? He said, no, I don't want the kingdom. After having your darshan, I'm feeling like what I desired initially was the broken pieces of glasses, and I got this invaluable jewel. So the problem with Krishna is, externally speaking, he will purify the desire. So you will not have any even desire to enjoy sense gratification. So people say, no, better go to demigod, and I want to enjoy, I want to have a good position or good family and those sort of things. So people are scared about Krishna. And when Maharaj was saying, if you go to Durga temple or Ganeshi temple and all those temples, you see big, big queues. You come to Krishna temple, you hardly see anyone. Very few people go to Krishna temple, but other demigods temple, they are bhara hua. They're so much filled with people. So Maharaj was saying, what's the difference? There, when they go and pray to say Durga ji or to other demigods in a material way, Now, Durga ji is also a Vaishnavi, but if you pray materially to Durga ji, she'll respond materially as well. So you pray to Durga ji materially, and what happens? You get material results. So you get, say, more money, for example, better position, better health, better location in the material world, for example. But when you go to Krishna and you pray, what happens? He takes what you have. So not only he not gives, he takes what you have. That's why the temple of Krishna is empty. For very few people go there, because you need guts to go to Krishna. Because Krishna will take it away. If you like it too much, Krishna will take it away. Someone was saying from Srimad Bhagavatam, if Krishna likes you, he gives you the thing. And when he loves you, he takes away. When he loves you, he takes away. So when you're losing the things in the material world, you're trying to become a devotee, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Just see as a reciprocation of Krishna. Krishna is reciprocating with you very nicely. And he will only reciprocate, don't worry, what you can handle. So he will never give you more misery than what you cannot handle. So never ever feel that, oh, Krishna, why so much? No, actually, Krishna knows how much pain this child can take. And this pain is just a stretched pain. When you stretch your muscles, when you go to gym, what happens? You get what you call biceps. You have to stretch a little bit. If every day you go to gym and only lift 1 kilo weight, will you get a good biceps? I'm sure everyone can lift 1 kilo. But when you lift 10 kilo, 20 kilo, you increase the weight, you increase the weight, you increase the weight. And then you look at in the mirror, oh, my biceps are coming. Yeah, and the process is working. So our biceps are spiritual biceps. So Krishna is giving some pain, some difficulty, some unfavorable situations, so-called unfavorable. But that is actually for increasing our strength, increasing our faith in Krishna. And then we will not need any demigods or any this Baba, that Baba, this quick solution, that quick solution, because we are not into achieving success, long-term success in the material world. We want long-term success in a spiritual world. We want the pleasure of the Lord. Externally, we may get failures. That's fine. That's okay. Krishna is the controller. He is my Lord. He knows what he's doing. So, Shipram hi manushe. Okay. So very beautiful verse. This sort of shows the reality, but we can contrast it with the Krishna devotee desires and aspirations. Now we read 4:13, which is today's verse. Who will read that? Okay, Mataji, please. Jamati Mataji has raised her hand.
Chaturvarnam maya shrishtam.
Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam.
Guna karma vibhagasha.
Guna karma vibhagasha.
Tasya kartaram apimam.
Tasya kartaram apimam.
Viddhai kartaram avyam.
Vidhi akartaram avyam.
According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable.
Thank you, Mataji. So now in the previous verse, what did we read? Some people go to demigods and they try to fulfill their desire very fast, but they don't get the purificatory path, right? So question is asked by Krishna, okay, now you have just said that people go to demigods. So what happens to the people who want the purificatory path? So Krishna says, for them, I have created Chatur Varnam Maya Shrishtam. I have created Varnashram Dharma. So this is where this verse context is. So Krishna says, for the purificatory purposes, although you have desires, you are in Manusya Loka, so definitely Prabhupada said, if you are here, that means you are wrong. So don't think, Shripalad Prabhu was saying in one class, don't point your finger towards us. Oh, you are so bad, you are so bad, you are so bad. And Prabhu said, we are all in the hospital, so we cannot say, Prabhu, you are sick. He will say, Prabhu, you are also sick. To say that you are sick, you have to be in the hospital, right? But when you're saying you are sick, your presence in the hospital makes sure that you're also sick. So we are all sick. Only person who is not sick, who is in the hospital not sick? Doctors. Doctors are not sick. Who is the doctor? Spiritual master. He's in the material world, but he's a doctor. He is not sick. He's been sent by Krishna. Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. He's a very dear servant of Krishna. He's been sent personally by Krishna. He is in the hospital, but he is not sick. But we cannot claim that. So we cannot pinpoint finger on others. Prabhuji, you're so sick. You're so bad. Excuse me. You are telling me? Yeah, our sickness, the degree of our sickness may vary. Some are very sick. Some are in ICU. Some are in general ward, some are under the supervision of 3 nurses, some are under 2 nurses. So our sickness may vary. We are all sick. We are all sick. So we have no right to say other person is sick, other person is bad, unless we have that responsibility to correct as a guru. Anyway, so Krishna says, for purificatory purpose, I have created Chatur Varnyam. So Varna word is used here. Now this Varna, Maya Shashtam, I have created it. Let's read the translation and then we'll come to what Krishna is saying. So Chatur Varnyam, Maya Shashtam, Chatur refers to 4, Varna refers to Varna. We'll talk about it. And Prabhupada writes 4 divisions in human society. Maya Shashtam, I have created them. Based on what? Vibhagasha, the division is based on what? Guna and karma. So guna, we all understand our qualities, and karma, you can say the competency. We'll talk about it. So quality and competency, based on qualities and competency, I have created 4 divisions in human society. Tasya kartaram apima. Although I have created, tasya karta, I have created them, right? I have created them. Vidhi akarta. Akarta means of them, but I am a karta of them, but I am not involved in it. So I have created something, but I am not involved in it. So how do we understand that? One example Prabhupada gave of jail. Government has created jails, right? Government has created jails, but is government responsible for creating jail? No. Government knows there will be some people who will break the law, and for them, some reformatory activities has to be done. They are sort of anti-social elements. They're not going to listen. So there will always be some kids who will not listen. So Krishna, for them, has created this material world. Not that Krishna wanted to. Government, prime ministers, kings, they don't like to deal with all these prisoners and all these court cases and all that. But they have to do it because some people will be willingly going there or unwillingly going there. So similarly, this material world is created by Krishna, but when Krishna creates it, he also creates arrangement for how to come out from here. And that is called Chatur Varnyam. There are 4 Varnas. So Varna and Ashrama. So Varna, it says, which Krishna writes here, based on Guna and Karma. So Guna refers to the qualities, the character, you can say. And Karma refers to our actions or competency. One simple example which I heard, which is very nice. To be a doctor, you need some sort of competency. We have Rasanand Prabhu, son. He's a doctor. So was it easy, Prabhuji, to become a doctor? Not easy. He has to, I'm sure, I'm not too much detail, but he had to pass so many exams, right?
Still they are struggling. Still struggling with so many exams.
He's still struggling with so many exams. See, so not only he achieves a degree and that's all done. No, it's never done. I was speaking to Manohan Prabhu other time. He was also saying we have to pass so many exams. Haven't we just get over it to maintain their license and certificates? They have to just keep going, keep going. So it's not easy. So you need some sort of competency. If you're not competent enough, you may, crack 1 or 2 exams, but you can't crack all the exams. You will not reach to the end. And even if you reach to the end, as we know, there is more to end. There's always more. It's never ending to that end that, okay, and done. You've got your, master's degree and that's it. It never works that way. So karma refers to that competency. Now, even if you're competent to be a doctor, for example, you have to be an honest doctor. You have to do what you're supposed to do in your profession. Many people become doctor in India. I've heard, not experienced as yet, that they will talk about you have a disease in, some problem in the hand, and they will cut your tummy and they will steal your kidney. They're competent enough to be a doctor, right? But the guna is missing. Guna means being honest in your profession. Many Hindi movies, explain how a minister is taking some bribe and he's helping terrorists, for example. So suppose he was competent to be on that post, but the guna was missing. So Krishna is very clearly saying, whatever comes under this varna, ashrama, this is based on guna and karma. So karma refers to our competency. We have to be competent to be, and guna refers to our quality. Are we able to maintain the integrity of that position? You are a prime minister, you are a doctor, you are a housewife, you are a wife, you are a husband, you are a children. Integrity has to be maintained. There are certain things which you are supposed to do, certain things you are not supposed to do. So this is called guna. So based on guna and karma, this division is made. This division is not based on My father is a Brahman, so I'm also a Brahman, although I may be taking liquor and I may be eating meat and all that. This division, which is presented in the current society, is extremely distorted version of what was intended initially in the Vedic culture. Vedic culture, people could choose their Varna and Ashrama. So Varna refers to Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Many times they say, Among Lila Prabhu was saying one class, we see this as a caste division which is based in India and it's so bad. But Prabhu said, actually, it's not the case. Brahman intellectuals, Kshatriyas, administrators, the mercantile class, and the assistants, they exist everywhere in the world. It's not only in India, they exist everywhere. Even in the school, even at your work, you will see there are some Brahman will be there, some very intellectuals will be there. Huh? They know the coding. Madhuri Mataji is in coding in IT. Huh? Some people will code just like that, isn't it? I have seen some. I'm also in IT, but I'm not so good. I'm just medium. But some people are so good. You tell them, Andri Mate, they'll write the query straight away, isn't it? Immediately, the query will be there on their head. I have to think, 1 hour. So some people are intellectuals. Some are administrator. They are project managers. Huh? You can't make them a coder. They are not developers. They are just project managers. And they do that very well. They just talk. They go to the coffee shop. They'll do all that. They are administrators by nature. Some are mercantile, just looking for next job, which pays more. People keep changing jobs just about money. Huh? Even in the colleges, you will see some people just talk about the profit. What's my profit? What's profit? And some people say in the schools, will be sitting on the back bench, just sleeping and just waiting. When the class is over, they can go home. Huh? They can go out and play with their friends and all that. So these 4 sections exist everywhere in the world. Huh? We can call it a certain name in Vedic culture, and we can present it, misrepresent, I should rather say, as a caste system. It's not a caste system. It's caste system based on your guna and karma. So Varna provides us for our external needs. External needs means in the world, we may be choosing a livelihood, for example. So in livelihood, we can choose a livelihood for becoming a Brahman if our psychophysical nature provides us that facility. We can become an administrator, king, we take taxes and we do something for the citizens and all those things. We can become a businessman. So this is called external needs. In the world, everyone needs external needs, right? And ashrama provides us for our spiritual needs. So Varna provides us for our external needs. Ashram provides us for our internal spiritual needs. What does ashram refers to? Brahmachari ashram, grihastha ashrams, Vanaprastha ashram, and sannyasa ashram. In each ashram, although you are involved in the so-called prescribed duties, but what is the goal of ashrama? Where you take ashray. Ashray means you take shelter. You take shelter of Krishna. So brahmachari, who is a brahmachari? Who is actually residing in Brahma, is always with Brahma. That's a brahmachari. Grihastha, you're involved with your family, with your kids and all the household duties. But your purpose of grihastha ashram is to purify yourself and to do the activities to support other 3 ashramas. In Vanaprastha, you're getting ready to get rid of all the worldly attachment. And then finally, you accept the sannyas ashram. So all these ashramas are taking you towards your spiritual advancement. And varnas are keeping you intact in the material world as per your psychophysical nature in a very harmonious way. If someone's are intellectuals, they can be Brahman. Some people change from Brahman to Kshatriya. Any example anyone remembers who changed from Brahman to Kshatriya? Yes, Prabhuji, Mataji. Vishwamitra, thank you. He was a Kshatriya, he became Brahman. Who became from Brahman to Kshatriya? Parashuram, thank you, my Prabhu and Mataji. So we have different examples in Vedic culture as well. Yadu Maharaj, for example, he was a Kshatriya, he became Brahman, he became a devotee, he just left his kingdom. Priyavrat Maharaj, for example, he was a brahmachari for a long period. And then Brahmaji came and then said, you have to become the king, there is no king. So Priyavrat Maharaj took the permission of his Guru Maharaj, Narad Muni, and then he became a king. So these things are happening in Vedic culture because they are based on our guna and karma. They're not based on what's the surname of my father. In Iyer, is it Iyer in South India for Brahmins? So if my father is Iyer, I may not be Iyer, a real Iyer. I may put my surname in my passport as Iyer, but I may not be a Brahman. I may be a Shudra. One of the definition of Shudra As per Manusmritis, whoever takes salary is a Shudra. Now, I don't have to define it. Most of us are accepting salary. So our surname may be Brahman, but our karma is not Brahmanical. So it's a very detailed subject matter. But the point here is Chaturvarnim. So Krishna has created these 4 social divisions for the upliftment of the spiritual advancement for each individual, as well as living in the world very nicely. So Varna and Ashrama. And although I have created them, the last line says, Vidhi. Vidhi means to know. Akartaram. You understand, I am not the doer. What does I am not the doer mean? Simply, it means I am not responsible for someone being a Brahmana, someone being a Shudra. So, okay, I hate this person. I categorize that, oh, you are a Shudra. Sometimes when devotees fight, they fight in a different way. Oh, you Shudra, you Rakshasa, you Asura. So in the outside world, they use different words. In the devotee world, we use different. So Shudra. So that's not necessarily, because I hate you and I see your activities as abominable. That may not be the case. Maybe I'm wrong. I call someone as a Shudra. But Krishna is saying, I am not like that. I'm not calling someone a Shudra just because I don't like that person. Oh, you are a Brahman. Not like that. Everyone is responsible for their being a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And that is based on their acts which they had done in the previous life. If they have shown to Krishna or to the material nature that they are interested in knowledge portion, for example. So material nature provides that sort of body, that sort of environment. If you are showing, no, I'm interested in meat eating and intoxication and liquor and all that, material nature says, okay, you become a Shudra. You are a human, but within human, you are a Shudra. Or you are fallen than that, you are eating a sopach, you are a Yavana or Malecha. So material nature provides all that based on our desires and karma. So Krishna is saying, I am not responsible for that. So Krishna says in the last line, although I am the creator of the system, you should know that I am yet non-doer, being unchangeable, which is Avyaya. Is it clear, this verse? Okay, let's move forward to 4.14. Whoever has not done it.
Prabhu, one quick question on this.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
It's also mentioned about the 3 modes of material nature. I was so far thinking this guna means the 3 modes of material.
Yes, 3 modes of material nature also there, but this here. So 3 modes of material nature will make you act in a certain way. So we'll read that more in 14th chapter. But if modes of material nature acts on a sattvic person, for example, even when you're angry, for example, you're in sattva, then the words come out of your mouth will be still very sober words, isn't it? Even in your anger. But if a passionate person gets angry, what he will do, he will put his fist onto the another palm or something. Yeah, and lost the match. And in ignorance, what you will do, you'll start breaking the things. So 3 modes are acting Hare Krishna. Sorry, my internet got dropped out. Okay, you can see my screen.
Yes, Prabhu.
So Rasaran Prabhu, I'm not sure which point I got cut off, but guna is definitely the most of material nature, Prabhuji, but at different places you have to take the context of that. But it is the impact of the gunas on that particular person, which will define that particular person's psychophysical nature. Yeah? Okay, let's move for 14. Okay, 414. Who will do that? I prefer who hasn't done it as yet. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Namam karmani limpanti.
Namam karmani limpanti.
Name karma phalispraha.
Name karma phalispraha.
Iti mam yo bhijanati.
Imam yo abhijanati.
Karam bhi na sapadyate. Karma bhi na sapadyate.
Karma bhirna sabadhyate.
Translation. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruit of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reaction of work.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, namam karmani limpanti, name karm phale spraha. So, Krishna is talking about himself here. Namam karmani limpanti. So, any karma, limpanti means effect. So, when we do any activity, it impacts us, whether good or bad. So, suppose we get some money, it impacts us. So, internally we desire to earn money, we get some money, and when we buy certain things from that money, or we lose some money, and then we have an internal impact. So there's external achievement or loss, and there's an internal impact of that. So there's always desire versus result. Success or failure, that's a different thing, but you have a desire, you do some activity, you get certain result. And based on that result, you again have a desire. Suppose you got success, you get greed. Oh, wow, this lottery system works very nice. I spend, $10, I got $1,000. Let me spend more. But if you lost it, oh, it doesn't work. So it's always internals and externals. So it impacts us, it impacts our consciousness. So what Krishna is saying, namam karmani limpanti, but no karma, no action affects me. Name karm phale ispraha. Ispraha refers to desire. So we all have desire. We have an internal desire. To do the work, we have desire, or not to do the work, also we have desire. You ask someone, Prabhuji, can you do this? Oh, no, I can't do it. I don't feel like doing it. Or some people are over onto it, and you have to say, Prabhuji, please go home. You have done enough. We have so many devotees in the temple. You literally have to feel like, how can they work so hard? How can they work so hard? So they also have certain desires, obviously spiritual desires, but Krishna is saying karm phala. So we all have a desire to achieve the phala, isn't it? Obviously a successful phala in our terms. So we have a desire, but Krishna does not have any karm phal desire. So if I do this action, I will get that. But we constantly have that. We have a desire, karm phal. We want to produce certain activity in our life, and for that purpose, we work towards it. But Krishna is saying, namam karmani limpanti. But even if I'm doing so many things, I do not get impacted by any activity, and I don't have any karma phala. I don't have any desire for any karma phala. So if I do this, I will get that. Krishna doesn't have that. Iti mam yo abhijanati. Abhijanati refers to, so there's a word called janati, there's a word called ajanati, and word called ajananti, and one word is called abhijananti. There's quite a few words. We'll read more in 9th chapter. So abhijananti means they know. So janati means to know. Abhijanati means know that properly. Know that properly. So here is iti mam yo abhijanati. Once who know me properly, in what sense? Namam karmani limpanti. Krishna is not involved in any activity. He does not desire for any result. He does not have any unfulfilled desire. Once who know like that, Krishna, for him, karmvir nasabadhyate. The the bondage of karma will not act on him. Why it will not act on him? Back to 4.9, because he know Krishna in tattvataha. So 4.9, you can again refer it as a base. Because he knows Krishna, every activity is transcendental, and Krishna is not doing makhan chori, for example, because he desires makhan chori. He wants to steal the makhan. He doesn't have makhan at home. So many reasons are there. He enjoys troubling others. None of the material reasons exist. Your only reason for doing makhan lila is to give pleasure to his devotees. And who will understand that? Only a devotee will understand that. So if a devotee understands his leelas, his pastimes as they are, and understand Krishna is not achieving anything out of this leela except giving pleasure to the devotees. Example, is he achieving makhan out of that leela? No. Is he achieving personal pleasure out of that leela? No. Is he achieving any negative things for his neighbors? No. All he is doing is exchanging relations, interactions with his pure devotees, which Krishna likes it and his devotees loves it. Gopis used to wait for Krishna to come in their house and steal makhan. And if Krishna does not come, they will actually wait whole day, and they will also feel my makhan is not good, so Kana has not come to my place today. So once you understand Krishna from that perspective, that Krishna is not achieving anything, he doesn't have any unfulfilled desire, that person himself also will not be bound by the karmic bondage. Sakhi Radhika Mataji.
Prabhuji, just quickly wanted to understand in the internal reasons of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming to the planet, like coming as a devotee. He had this, that he had the desire to feel how the devotees. So was it like it's not that unfulfilled desire. He had that desire and he got it fulfilled. How to understand this?
Yeah. So basically, Mataji, you can say spiritual desire versus material desire. So all of your spiritual desire, for example, you want to serve Radha Gopinath in a certain way, you want to serve Guru Maharaj in a certain way. Sometimes, you'll say some Mataji, oh, if my Guru Maharaj comes to my place, I'll cook this, I'll cook that, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll make an asan for my Guru Maharaj here, and I have made a room for my Guru Maharaj. Is this not desires? They're all desires. You have lots of desires. But what desire you're carrying in your heart? To please your spiritual master, for your purification, for his pleasure. So these spiritual desires are in a different realm. So Krishna also have a desire. Krishna wants to meet Srimati Radharani. Krishna wants to give pleasure to his devotees. So they are desires, but they are not material desires. So what we are referring here is material desires, material phala. Krishna is not after any material phala. Now we are acting mostly, if not all the time, for a material phala, isn't it? What's up? It's all about me, and me. So what's my benefit? Mostly. Sometimes we have spiritual desires, sometimes, but mostly we are talking about our own selfish desires, how we can fulfill our selfish desire. How can I be benefited from this activity? Because we have this ispraha, desire for a karma phala. If I do this, if I do buttering to my top senior management, I may get a better post. And that may exist in the temple as well. Now, it's not the temple's problem, it's my problem. I have that consciousness. It's not temple's problem, but I am carrying that consciousness. My Guru Maharaj says in a class, we carry the material baggage in the spiritual realm. What it means, we have anarthas, kam, krodh, lobh, mad, matsar. We carry those anarthas in the circle of devotees as well. And that's how Rupa Goswami says, we actually sometimes become a disturbance in the devotional realm. Because we are not dealing with devotees as devotees. We are dealing devotees as just like a normal person, tit for tat. For example, even if no one has done tit, I do the tat. So they're all material versus spiritual, and there's always a tension, always a tension. Why there's a problem in the temple or in any community? Because of our selfish motives. Radhanath Maharaj says that we have ulterior motives. And we want to fulfill those ulterior motives in so-called spiritual language. We want to get Nam Pratishtha. So we are becoming very knowledgeable just to get this certificate from devotees. Oh, Prabhu, you're so knowledgeable. You do these things so nicely, and I feel so good in the heart, because I have that unfulfilled desire to be famous. So why don't I, Maharaj said very nicely, if you want to be famous, actually, you should glorify Krishna more and more. then you will achieve the actual fame. And that Maharaj gave the example very nicely. Prabhupada fame. Look at the fame of Prabhupada. Ebu just Ghoshuk Tribhuvana. Prabhupada glories are sung not only just in a small earth planet, in all the 14 planetary system. Why so? He purely glorified Krishna. He had no desire for personal glorification. And then by doing that activity, he got so much glorified. So Maharaj was saying very nicely, if you just glorify Krishna, you will automatically become glorified. Automatically become glorified. You don't have to go after your glories. Maharaj said your glories are like your shadow. The more you go after them, the more it goes away from you. Really like that example. Huh? So just one example of anartha. I want to become very famous. I want to become very intellectual. So, but I'm fulfilling that desire where? In the spiritual realm. In the spiritual realm. And that's why there's a tension. Is that okay?
Yeah, Prabhu. So to understand that means just as for us, Anya Vilashita Shunyam is there.
Yes.
Like, so
Yes.
for Krishna, we can say everything of his is Divya, like from 4.9. So that's his desires are also Divya, like that.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
he has desires. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have desires.
Yeah. No, definitely. And same goes for devotees. And that's why it says Jnana Karmadi Anavratam. It's not saying Jnana Karmadi Shunyayitam. Shunya means zero. So we're not saying zero knowledge, zero karma. No. We are saying Jnana Karmadi Anavratam. Anya Bhilashita Shunyam. We are not saying become your Abhilasha zero, make your desire zero. But we are saying Anya Abhilasha. You should not have other desire.
Sure.
So that's the difference. So desires are fine. Raga is fine actually. Attachments are fine, but attachment to the right object. Okay, thank you, Mata. Let's go to 4.15. Jayaprakash Prabhu, you want to do that?
Hare Krishna. I'll try. Evam gnatva kritam karma.
Evam gyatva kritam karma.
Purvair api mumukshubhi.
Purvairapi mumukshubhihi.
Kuru karmaiva tasmatvam.
Kuru karmaiva tasmatvam.
Purvai purva taram kritam.
Purvaiha purvataram kritam.
All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps.
Okay, so it's a very straightforward verse. He's saying, Evam gyatva kritam karma. Evam gyatva, by knowing this, what I have been explaining to you, kritam karma, you do your duty. Purvair api mukshapi. Mukshapi refers to one who wants liberation. Sorry, one who has attained liberation. Prabhupada's writing here, one who has attained liberation. So, Purvair api, in the past, many people have acted accordingly as per the instruction I have given, and they have attained mukshavi. They have attained the liberation. So, Kuru karmai tasmat refers to therefore, tvam, you also follow in their footsteps. Purvaiha purvataram kritam. So Prabhupada writes, you follow in their footsteps and perform your duty. Okay. So now this section sort of ends here. Let's look at this one here. So the current section which we were reading from 11 to 15 was Krishna is the goal of all paths. Manusyaha partha sarvashaha. 4.11, creator of Varnashram, which is 4.13. So we've read that. Now we're coming back to Karma Yoga. Now, just wanted to share one thing. Why this section is changing so drastically. You can say from Krishna as a goal of all paths and creator of Varnashram, why are we reading Karma Yoga again? So let's go back to chapter 3 and we'll see the connection. Everything in Bhagavad Gita is very well connected. So in chapter 3, if you remember, Krishna was explaining about Karma Yoga, right? Performing prescribed duties, work in attachment, set an example of Janak Maharaj and all those things. So we read all that. But in the middle of that section, Arjun had a question. You remember the question of Arjuna? 336? Akke pritoyam papam charati purushaha, baladev niyojati. So Arjun asked a question. Inside, there is something which sort of forces us to do the things. Although we are anishapi, we don't want to do that. So Krishna actually responded, answering that question of Arjuna by explaining the lust and anger section. So he explained all that. And then he said to overcome that, what do you need? You need knowledge. So he explained about transcendental knowledge about himself, why he appears, when he appears, and how does he makes arrangement for living entities to come back to him. So this was like a little detour, which because of Arjun's question was taken. Now basically we are coming back to this Karma Yoga section, Is it clear? So from chapter 3 to chapter 4, so little detour happened from 336 onwards about the lust and all those things. And then Krishna gave the knowledge how to overcome it. And now he's coming back to the same thing. Now the only difference here will be Karma Yoga in terms of achieving the knowledge will be presented by Krishna in next 8 or 9 verses. Okay. So let's do that. 416. Madhuri Mataji, you want to do? It's a very beautiful section. Every verse you will love it.
Kim karma kim akarmeti.
Kim karma kim akarmeti.
Kavayopi atra mohita.
Kavayo petra mohitaha.
Tatte karma pravakshyami.
Tatte karma pravakshami.
Yajñatva mokshayase shubhat.
Yajñatva mokshayase shubhat.
Translation. Even the intelligent all bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So kim karma kim akarmeti. So karma here refers to say action. Prabhupada writes action. So I'll explain the word karma a little later. Let's read this first as it is. So kim karma, what is karma? Kim akarmeti, what is akarma? So akarma can be translated again in a multiple ways. So you say here inaction, as Prabhupada is writing here, inaction. We'll read more detail later. So what is action? What is inaction? Kaviyo, kavi refers to, in Hindi, kavi means a poet. But in Sanskrit, kavi refers to a very knowledgeable person. Very knowledgeable person is known as kavi. Also, doctor is known as kavi as well. The doctor is also very knowledgeable, as Sanat Prabhu was saying. It's not easy. Not easy. They have to have a lot of knowledge in their head. So sometimes you read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Raghunath Das Goswami was seen by a Kaviraj. So there's a Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. That's a poet as well as a very knowledgeable person. So we have a Kaviraj. Kaviraj means doctor, Vaidya, who comes and looks Raghunath Das Goswami. So here we have word Kavi. In 8.9 also, the verse given Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram. Kavim, the first word is referred to Krishna in 8.9 is Kavim. He's a Kavi. Very knowledgeable, learned person. So Kavyo Patra Mohitaha. So what is karma? What is action? What is inaction? Mohita means bewildered. We have Mohit Prabhu who bewilders everyone in a good way. And from material platform, he uplifts into the spiritual platform. Sabko bula bula ke, he feeds them nice prasadam, gives them facility, and he makes devotees. So many devotees. Mohit bewilders. Even Kavi, even learned person become bewildered in determining what is karma, what is action, and what is akarma, what is inaction. Tatte karma pravakshami, but I will tell you, pravakshami refers to I will tell you what is the action. So we will explain in detail what is this karma, akarma, vikarma is yajgyatva, by knowing that moksha se ashubhat. Ashubhat refers to inauspiciousness. Moksha refers to liberation. You will be liberated from all inauspiciousness. Now, what is the Ashubha in this particular context for Arjun? What Arjun thinks, what is Ashubh? What is inauspicious for Arjun at the moment? Killing the other people is the inauspicious activity for Arjun, right? So Krishna is saying, if I tell you what is karma, what is akarma, by knowing that, you will be freed from the bondage of all the Ashubh. And someone says, our existence in the material world itself is Ashubh, isn't it? It's inauspicious. Unless, again, you're a Guru Tattva. So we are not so auspicious at the moment. So we are bad, we are contaminated, we have wrong consciousness, and that's why we are here. So Yajgyata, by knowing that, you will be freed from all the Ashubh, all the inauspiciousness. So we understand the context which Krishna is setting here. Let's go in detail. Now Krishna starts from 417, some detailed explanation of this terminology. This is again a very famous quoted verse. Who hasn't done as yet? Prasannatma Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. You've been quietly listening all this time. Maybe you can read.
Yeah. Karmano hi api bodhavyam.
Karmano hi api bodhavyam.
Bodhavyam cha vikarmana.
Bodhavyam cha vikarmana.
Akarmanacha bodhavyam.
Akarmanascha bodhavyam.
Gahana karmano gati.
Gahana karmano gatihi.
Translation. The intricacies of actions are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is.
Thank you, Prabhu. So karmano api bodhavyam. So bodhavyam is used here. You can see 3 times. Bodhavyam, bodhavyam, bodhavyam. Prabhupada writes bodhavyam should be understood. So karmana, word karma should be understood in a certain way. Bodhavyam cha vikarma, you should understand vikarma in a certain way. Akarmana cha bodhavyam, and understand akarmana in a certain way. Because gahana karmano gati. So gahana refers to very intense, one which is not penetrable. Karmano gati. So gati, the actions of karma, the destination of karma is very, very gahan, very, very hard to understand. Prabhupada writes, the intricacies of actions are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. So there are 3 terms Krishna is using: karma, akarma, and vikarma. And he's saying gahana karmano gati. Now just concentrate on one word for now in this verse, and we'll talk about these 3 words in the later verses. Gahana karmano gati. So you must have heard this in many, many lectures. Anyone remembers any examples of gahana karmano gati where we could not understand how the karma is acting in our life? Actually, we face this every day in our life, isn't it? How the karma is working. We become totally bewildered, confused. Why this is happening to me? I'm such a good person. At least we think like that. Huh? Why this is happening? Why that is not happening to me? I've been trying so hard. Krishna, I don't have any other ulterior motive, but it's still not working. Anyone can give any Shastric examples of Gahana Karmano Gati? I remember one, but there can be many more. I remember one, Dhritarashtra asking Krishna how I lost my 100 sons. You remember that one? And Krishna explains the past 50 lives of Dhritarashtra, where he said you were a hunter and you killed 100 baby birds. When the father was away, you killed them and you watched them dying. So Dhritarashtra asked why I took 50 birds to get the reaction back. And Krishna said, because you had to achieve the piety to achieve 100 sons in the material world. It says once you achieve 1 son, as per Manusmriti, you lose the piety of last, I think, 20 or 30 births. So whoever has a son, as per Manusmriti, I'm talking, not spiritually, you have actually consumed the piety which you have achieved in last 20 or 30 births to get 1 putra, 1 son. That's what Manu Maharaj says. So we say, oh, wow, it's nice. So make sure, Manu Maharaj is saying, make your putra a devotee putra. Huh? So you buy a big high valued car or a house, $2 million house, but then you cannot live in it. The house has some problems. And you're like, oh my God, I spent $2 million all my life saving in buying this car or a house, but I can't use it. So similarly, you have consumed all your earnings of say 20 births to achieve a son. Now this son becomes an asura or a demon. Is it something to be worth repenting? Yes, because you have spent your money. Here, money is your piety. Now you got a son. Now, if you do not make the son a devotee, at least you try to make him a devotee or her a devotee, then actually you have misspent your money, misused your money. So you have to be very, very careful. All the luxuries which we are having in our life today, we are sitting in a nice chair, we are having all the nice house and nice health. Actually, we are spending our piety even to achieve this, materially speaking. Every enjoyment which we are having right now, whether it's a full tummy or nice clothes, a nice shelter, it is actually we are spending money. We are spending our piety. And that's why our old people in Vedic culture, they will not take too much luxuries of life. Even they had money, they will not misuse the money because they know I have to use this thing properly for future lives, for future. They were always looking in the future. You see our dadi or nani, they're very miser, very kanjus. And will say, what, Nani ji, you can give some money. She said, no, this is not your money. It's Krishna's money. You have to spend it very properly. So, Gahana Karmano Gati. So, what action will become what in future? I heard one example from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. Very nice. He said, someone becoming blind. what karma you can sort of comprehend he would have done in the past. He would have taken eyes from someone, or he would have, done some other atrocities on someone. It's very hard to comprehend. He did A, so he got C. A equals to C. It doesn't work that way. Maybe it was A plus B plus C plus D equals to Z, whatever. Very hard to understand how this material nature acts. Why millions of people die in tsunami? Very hard to understand. We can just say it's a group karma, but how does it work? There's a group karma, there's individual karma, there's a family karma, there's a dynasty karma. All these exist, right? We know that. How does it actually manifest in our particular life, in a particular suffering or enjoyment? We don't know. We don't know. But it acts. Gahana karmogati. Let's read the definitions of each in 4.18. Who can do this? 4.18. Okay, Madhuri Mataji.
Karmanya karmaya pasyed. Karmani akarmaya pasyed.
Karmani akarmaya pasyed.
Akarmani cha karmaya.
Akarmani cha karmaya.
Sa buddhiman manushesu.
Sa buddhiman manushesu.
Sa yukta kritsna karmakrit.
Sa yukta kritsna karmakrit.
Translation: one who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities.
Now, this is a very nice verse. Karmani akarmaya pasyed, akarmani cha karmaya sa buddhiman manushesu ya sa yukta kritsna karmakrit. So, karmani akarma. So here, karma refers to say action, akarma refers to say inaction, just for now. So one who sees inaction in action, karmani akarma, and the other line says exactly opposite, akarmani cha karmya, and one who sees karma, action in inaction, sabuddhiman manushesu. So here Krishna is giving the definition of one who is called an intelligent, wise person. So we may all think we are very intelligent because we got 3 degrees in our portfolio, but that's not the definition Krishna is giving. Krishna is giving definition here. If you are able to see action in inaction and inaction in action, then you are buddhiman. Now, what does this terminology mean? Let's define. So explanations are given for the word karma, action. There can be 4 meanings of word karma. Madhuri Mataji, you remember from our previous discussion? Or Kanika Mataji? What are the 4 meanings of word karma? So 1, it can be an action. I'm doing my karma. Many times they say, I'm doing my karma. Karma means action. And sometimes when you go to the hospital, I'm suffering my karma. So not that they're using the word karma as an action, they're using the word as reaction. So what they have done in the past, I'm suffering. So if they realize I'm suffering my karma. Also, karma can be the cycle of karma. The law of karma never leaves anyone. I think Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj gave a nice example. A calf can find his mother. Even the hundreds of cows will be there, but a calf will find the mother. So calf is like the karma. So although you may be becoming a demigod, you may become Lord Brahma, but your karma will never leave you. And that's why you have to be very careful in performing our duties nicely. Because we may be able to exploit someone today. We may be in a good position. We may be able to lie and get some benefit for us or for our community. We can do so many things as per our past enjoyable karmas. But if we do that today, if we do the wrong thing today, it will come back. And it said, even if you are amongst thousands of cows, your calf will find you. So our karma will find us. So when Maharaj was saying, I can't remember the exact words, but saying, so don't complain, don't complain. You deserve it, so you get it. I think it was Hanuman Preshak Maharaj, if I'm not wrong, Prabhupada disciple. So you get it, that means you deserve it. So don't complain, don't complain, just accept it, accept it. Now do what you have to do. If you have your stomach pain, you have to go to the doctor and do, but don't complain in your heart. Why did I get the stomach pain? No, I deserve it, I deserve it. A devotee who accepts it, and acts accordingly, Brahmaji says in 10.14, he becomes eligible to go back to Godhead. So we should not complain. Someone was saying in another class, if we have Shraddha, if we have faith, there should not be any place for Shikayat. If Shraddha is there, Shikayat will not be there. Shikayat means complaint. If you have Shraddha in Krishna, there will not be any complaints. Why this, why that, why that? You have Shraddha. If you love someone, you will not be complaining to that person. But if you don't love, there will be so many complaints. Even if there's no reason to complain, you'll still be complaining, isn't it? We all experience that. Because there is no love, there is no Shraddha in that particular person or in that activity. Opposition party always blames the ruling party, always. That's their job profile. Whatever this person is doing have to be. That's their job. So when there is Shraddha, when there is Shraddha, there should not be any place for Shikayat. And if there is Shikayat, if there is complaint, that exactly translates, we don't have Shraddha. If we are complaining to Krishna, for example, maybe in a nice way, that means we don't have Shraddha in the plans of Krishna. Krishna has a better plan than what our intellect can comprehend. If we have that Shraddha, there's no Shikayat. Even if you're on the bed, hospital bed, as I gave the example of Maharaj, in the hospital bed, he has Shraddha. Even now, Radharani is looking after me the best. He said the best. She has put me in the best position. He's convinced. Now, if I say it, it doesn't have much meaning to it, but Maharaj is convinced, even in the hospital bed, in an ICU, he is in the best position Radharani has put him for that particular moment. So he has no complaints. Thank you, Mata. You have given me this perfect. Chitraketu Maharaj accepts the curse of Parvati. He does not retaliate. Maharaj Parikshit accepts the curse of Shringi. He does not retaliate. Bharat Maharaj, when he is taken for murdering, he does not retaliate. He does not retaliate because he has Shraddha. So to become Buddhiman is not so easy. It's not just passing a postgrad degree, getting a PhD. That's not Buddhiman. As per the literatures, the Buddhiman, one who can see karma and akarma clearly. So we are discussing karma. So action, reaction, law of action, reaction, and also karma means a pious action. Many times we say you should do karma. That what it means basically, we are saying you should do pious activity. Don't do impious activity. Shastra, many times we use the word karma. Is it prescribed in Shastra? Is it a karma as per Shastra? What does it mean? It's a pious activity. Now, exactly opposite to that will be vikarma. Vikarma means vikrat karma, which is activities which are prohibited in Shastra. Suppose you should not lie, you should not hurt others, you should not exploit others, you should not steal. All these things, and they're called vikarma, vikrat karma. We are not supposed to do them because they will produce reaction by which we will suffer. And the third word used here is akarma. Akarma means inaction. Now, akarma can also have two meanings. Akarma can refer to what Arjun's interpretation is. Inaction means I will go to jungle and I will not act. So-called. Inaction means no activity. It's no. There is not possibility of no activity ever, but at least in a general language, no activity, inaction. Another meaning of akarma can be an activity which produces no reaction. And this is where our spiritual duties get put in. So when we are doing any activity for Krishna's pleasure, although we are involved in the activity, but that activity does not produce any material reaction. And that's why that activity is called akarma. Okay. Now we will repeat the definition of karma and akarma and vikarma. Sakhi Radhika Mataji, you want to try?
Sure, I'll try. Karma, there were four things which we discussed about karma: action, reaction, then law of action and reaction, and pious action. Pious action.
Very nice.
And then vikarma is something which is prohibited by the Shastras, and akarma is I got confused with the karma, but yeah.
So inaction means no activity, or actions which produces no reaction, which means spiritual activity. Okay.
I'll write that down. Thank you.
So one who sees karmani, akarmi, ya pashet, one who sees inaction, action, what does it mean? Krishna is basically referring to Arjun here. Although you are performing action in the battlefield, what are you doing? You're sleeping in the battlefield? No, you're fighting with your enemy. Enemies are attacking you, you're attacking your enemy. It's a lot of actions happening. But Krishna is saying, if you perform that action with the Krishna consciousness mentality, what I see it as inaction. Actually, you're doing akarma. That activity is not produced. So if we are doing lot of book distribution, for example, and then can be any activity for the pleasure of my spiritual master. Is that considered a karma or a karma? Jamati Mataji is speaking, book distributor. Valentina goes, yeah, this is my area.
No. A karma?
Yes, because although you are involved, you're talking to people, you're getting some money from the books, you're buying books, you're transporting books, you're doing all sorts of things. You're involved in activity. But Krishna, as per Krishna's definition, actually that is inaction. So it looks like an action, but actually is inaction. There's no personal profit or gain there. I'm not like making my livelihood out of selling the books. Huh? If I'm doing the same activity to earn a livelihood, what is considered as
Karma.
Karma. Thank you. So is it clear? So the activity will be same. The consciousness behind the activity will be defining the activity is a karma or a karma. You cannot just externally see a devotee's action and say, oh, you know, he's doing nice. We don't know. We don't know. Huh? And the second is action in inaction. So again, speaking to Arjuna's example of him going to jungle and sort of begging as a sannyasi or as a brahmachari. Will that be an activity? Yes, because it is not under the guidance of his spiritual master. His spiritual master is saying, stay here and fight. You help me to wipe off the irreligion from the world. So this is what Krishna is. One who sees inaction in action and action in action is intelligent among men. And he is transcendental position. He is in the transcendental position, all the engagement, all sorts of activities. Sa yukta, Krishna refers to everything. So it says all the engagement, all Krishna karma krat. So karma refers to karma krat is to do. The activity Krishna is all the activity. So he is yuktaha, he is doing all the activity, but he is not doing any activity because that activities are not producing any material reactions. And the same applies to all our actions. For you have a Krishna conscious family, you're doing all, from morning Mangala Aarti to Guru Aarti and all the Bhoga offering. And the husband can go to work and Mataji can stay at home and look after the kids and teach kids, and husband comes home. We all have another program in the evening. From external perspective, it looks like, oh, he's also going and earning money and looking after his family and his kids. But is it a normal activity or a akarma activity? It's a akarma activity, because that is done purely for the pleasure of the Lord. And that's where Varnashram is situated. He's a grahastha, he's earning money. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But he's doing for the pleasure of the Lord. And whatever remnants Lord leaves in the plate, he accepts it with so much pleasure. Oh, this is Lord Prasad, and he eats that. Prasannatma Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, I had one doubt actually.
No problem.
Yeah, like Prabhu, like when we do some service in the temple, sometimes, like for example, I'm not taking any names. Sometimes we don't want to do the service because, and also at the same time, we don't want to hurt the devotee by saying no.
Yes.
So then we still will do it, but that we are not doing in the right consciousness. But what is it, karma or vikarma or akarma?
Okay, it's a very complex thing which you are asking. First thing, in a general principle, I'm talking any activity which we perform for Krishna's pleasure, whether in the temple or at home or on the street, that is akarma. So that's the first principle. So we cannot say the activity which you perform in the temple, whether willingly or unwillingly, that's the second question. But that activity itself, you have done some seva. So someone is asking your seva in a pujari room, someone is asking your seva in the kitchen, someone is asking your seva in the book table, it all happens. We have less volunteers, and many times we have to stretch ourselves. So first thing first, they are all akarma, because in that premises, every activity is done for the pleasure of Radha Gopinath. As a general principle, I'm saying, right? Now, second question probably you asked whether willingly or unwillingly we don't want to hurt the devotee. So there we have to sort of understand how much can we do. You may also have your limitations. You may have your family to look after. You may have to leave early, and other devotees saying, can you please stay another hour? You just have to decide based on your situation, what can you do? We definitely don't want to hurt, but at the same time, we can clarify our position to that devotee. I'm not able to do this, although I would love to do it because of certain situations. And if you do it apart or something, do it nicely. Do it nicely. Understanding Krishna has arranged it for me. If I'm able to do it, I should do it with pleasure, not with reluctance. not with any sort of vengeance in the mind. Oh, why he has involved me in this seva. If you're not able to do it, explain, clarify yourself. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. No, yeah, because it happened to me. When someone says, I'll be reluctant, but when I'm doing it, I'll do it in the same good spirit only, Prabhu.
Yes.
Only that part I'm asking. When someone asks, I am reluctant.
That's okay. It always happens, Prabhuji. We are limited. We are not unlimited. Many times we really desire to help many devotees, but we just can't do it because of other responsibilities at the same time. So it's okay.
Okay. Thank you, bro. Hare Krishna.
Just one more thing I want to add. Bhakti Rasamant Maharaj added that, say, if a festival comes in the temple, then we can all stretch ourselves for a day or 2 or 3, as much as possible, again, without leaving our other responsibility. We can stretch, but we cannot stretch ourselves 365 days a year. Some days we should stretch. It's nice. Some days we can't. That's okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So we understand this 4.18. This is very beautiful verse. And if we want to be called wise as per Krishna's definition, this is how the definition should be. We cannot stamp others just based on their external work. Oh, he's a devotee, he's a non-devotee. Actually, we don't know. He's wearing a jeans, he still can be a pure devotee. He's wearing a dhoti, he can still be a very impure devotee. Because it's the motivation which defines the person. It's not the knowledge or the look of the person. If look was the basis, everyone will be in Vaikuntha Loka tomorrow, isn't it? We can all buy big kanti malas, we can all buy nice kurtas or saris, and we'll just reach to Vrindavan tomorrow just by buying a ticket. My Guru Maharaj said, you can't reach to Vrindavan just buying a ticket of Vrindavan. You can be physically there, but your mind can still be in Sydney. What's happening to my business? And is my assistant looking after my business properly? Is my house locked properly by my kids? All the tension you are still having. So you cannot go to Vrindavan just by buying a ticket. That's why you have to hear from authority before going to Vrindavan. You have to absorb yourself in that journey and literally understand the glories of the Dham and the devotee association. Then you are visiting Vrindavan. And that it may mean, I met a devotee, a brahmachari, 10 or 12 years in the movement, full-time brahmachari. He had never gone to Vrindavan, one of the biggest book distributors. And he told me one day, I was so surprised, you haven't been to Vrindavan as yet. He said, I'm hesitant to go to Vrindavan if I commit any aparadh or something. I'm like, wow, you can never commit aparadh. But his consciousness was like that. He took Vrindavan so seriously. Later he visited. So he visited with a very proper, he prepared for going to Vrindavan for years and years. He said, Mayapur, no problem. Mahaprabhu, no problem. But Vrindavan, I am scared. I'm scared. No, he was not just saying over humility. No, he prepared. And later he visited Vrindavan just for a short while. So he took Vrindavan visit very seriously. So we should also do that. And our Vrindavan, local Vrindavan is 180 Falcon Street. We should be very careful when we enter into that premises. We should not talk any prajalpa. Nothing else is needed. No other business is there except to glorify Krishna and perform our services. That's the only purpose. And anyone else is dragging us towards any other objective, we should actually withdraw from that activity or from that person, because it is Vrindavan. Prabhupada said there's no difference between this Vrindavan. It's embassy. So very careful, very serious in that premises. We should be serious all the time, but at least in that premises. Okay, let's.
Sorry,
yes,
yes,
Prabhuji.
Clarification. Like akarma, as you said, it can be an action having no material reaction, right? But
yes.
Can akarma also have some spiritual credits? Like, because it is also a kind of a pious activity in one way. Like if you're trying,
it's a spiritual activity. It's not a material. That's why we are adding no material reaction. It has a reaction. What is the reaction? Krishna prema. Once I asked one question to Sankarshan Das Maharaj Adhikari. So I was driving him from one place to another place. Anyway, so that day I took a half day off from my work by lying I'm sick or something. So I asked Maharaj, do I get a karma of that? Because I lied at my workplace. So I came around lunchtime because I had to take Maharaj from somewhere to somewhere. Anyway, so Maharaj smiled at me. He said, yes, you do get karma. And what karma? You get spiritual karma. I was very happy to hear that. So not I'm saying recommending to lie around, but sometimes we may have to adjust our material situations so that we can serve Krishna. It's okay. You do get karma. You do get piety, but what sort of piety? Is spiritual piety. Is spiritual reaction. What's a spiritual reaction? Your heart gets purified. You get more attracted towards Krishna. You come closer to Krishna and his devotees. So it's very nice. That karma is very nice.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's do 419. Kanika Mataji, you want to do one more?
Yasya sarve samarambha
Yasya sarve samarambha
kama sankalpa varjita
Nama sankalpa varjitaha
jnanangi dagda karmanam
Janagni dagda karmanam
tam ahu panditam buddha.
Tam ahu panditam buddhaha.
One who is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification, he is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge.
Thank you, Mataji. So, yasya sarve samarambhaha. So, arambha is a Hindi word. Arambha means to begin. So, samarambha means all the beginnings, means all the beginning of the activity. So, we are constantly doing so many activities, this project, that project, that project. And as we grow up in the age, our project increases, isn't it? So, I remember when Brahmachari was saying, you should, in a class, he was saying, in general, you should join Krishna consciousness at an early age, because when you wait for later ages, you will already become too much entangled in the worldly affairs. And he was right. Huh? So leaving other activities in the early age is easy. Huh? If you become 30, 35, 40, something like that, you're already entangled so much. Huh? That's not easy to cut off and then join Krishna consciousness. So, yasya sarve samarambhaha. So all the endeavors which he does, sarve, Kam sankalpa varjita, but he can do lots of endeavors. But how is doing endeavors? Kama sankalpa. Kama here refers to desire for personal sense gratification. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita gives the definition of Kam and Prem. Kam means, he says, so there's a Sanskrit verse, rather I should say Bengali verse. The translation goes, so Kam means desire for personal sense gratification, and Prem means desire for Krishna's sense gratification. Huh? So if you're doing something for the deities, something doing for spiritual master, something for the devotees, that is prema. But the same activity, if you do for yourself, I need to buy new clothes, that's called kama. I want to buy new clothes for Radha Gopinath, that's prema. Same activity, buying clothes, but buying clothes for Gopinath, buying clothes for yourself. Huh? Now you're buying clothes for yourself to present Gopinath in the public. Is that kama or prema? I can't hear anyone.
Prema.
Why? I'm buying clothes. My fitting, my kurta size, medium, large, whatever. Why? My intention is to glorify Radha Gopinath. So my intentions matter, not the activity. You can have the best kurta or the best sari or the best jewelry, but you're trying to glorify Krishna. Once time, Yudhishthira Maharaj went to Krishna and says, Krishna, can you give me more wealth, better position, better look, better knowledge? And Krishna is like, you're asking like a karmi. Yudhishthira Maharaj, you're supposed to be a pure devotee, and pure devotee is never asking these things. Now, externally, it looks like what? He's asking money, position, better facilities in the material world. But he says, Krishna, I want to prove to the world your devotees are the best. Because many people get hesitant to become devotee of Krishna. Why? Krishna's devotee become pauper. Purushastakam, we read Chaurashtakam. Chaurashtakam we read. Krishna makes the person as a bhikhari. He makes person pauper. He steals everything of that person, including his papa. So, Chauratra Garnyam Purusham Namami. That's what we see. So Krishna makes the person pauper, and Yudhishthira is saying, because people are hesitant to become devotees of you, because they think Krishna will take everything away. I want to prove to the world that Krishna's devotees are the best. They are the richest. They are the super well situated in the material world. Then Krishna was very happy. So his intention matters, not that what he is asking Krishna which matters. So his intention was very pure. So everything which we can attach with Krishna becomes a prema. Obviously, the degree will matter. A small prema or the bigger prema. Bigger devotees like Prabhupada, they can even give their whole existence for Krishna's pleasure. Like Bali Maharaj, he became #1 in Atma Nivedanam. Why? Because he surrendered everything to Krishna. That's why he's considered the best. So yes, sarve samarambha kama sankalp varjita. So they don't have any kam. They don't have any desire for personal sense gratification. And jnanati dagdha karmanam. So all the karma here, karma refers to the seed of karma, the desire for karma. Dagdha means burnt. Jnanati, how that is burnt? From jnana, from knowledge. Now here knowledge is also, so there are two types of knowledge. Rupa Goswami explains in NOD. One knowledge is called Bhakti Anukul Gyan, which is favorable to Bhakti, and another is called Bhakti Pratikul Gyan, which is not favorable to Bhakti. So what are we reading? This is knowledge. But what will be defined as Bhakti Anukul or Pratikul? How we use this knowledge. If we use this knowledge to spread Krishna consciousness, to come closer to Krishna, this is called Bhakti Anukul Gyan, favorable to Bhakti. But if I'm increasing the knowledge just to show to the world, I know 357 verses of Bhagavad Gita, that actually becomes Bhakti Pratikul Gyan, which is unfavorable for developing my prema towards Krishna. So what happens to the devotee? All his arambha, all his activities are kama sankalparjita. He is devoid of desire for personal sense gratification, and jnanadi, that the karma, the beej is burned. I sometimes make this moong and chana ankur, the sprouts. Simple example. So the sprout will only come when you soak, say, proper moong into the water for, say, 2 days or something, right? The sprout will come. But if I fry the moong, will the sprout still come after soaking 2 days? Because it's burned. The moong may still be there, but the sprouting facility is lost because it's been burnt. So similarly, our activities may still be there, but the bija for sense gratification is lost. Because of this knowledge which we have received from Krishna, the transcendental knowledge, which is bringing us closer to Krishna. Then tam aho pandit, that person is called a pandit or a learned or a wise person. Okay, let's do one more verse and then we can stop properly. Sanand Prabhu or Vijay Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yaktva karma pala sangam mitra tripto nirashaya karmani abhipravirtopi naiva kinchit karoti sa. Translation. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kind of undertakings.
So similar thing Krishna is explaining, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. Karmani abhiparvattopi. So pravatti means to engage, abhipravatti, to be very well engaged. So you might be very well engaged in different types of activities, but tyaktva karma phala sangam. So karma phal tyaktva. So the desire for the attachment of the phala is gone. If it is gone, what is happening? Nitya trapto. Nitya refers to always. Trapta means satisfied. Nirashra, he is not taking shelter of anyone else in the material world. Karmani abhipra. So that person may be engaged in different activities. Never kinchit karoti sa. He is not getting bound by any karma. So similar thoughts which Krishna has given earlier. So main point here we can say Tyaktva karma phala sangam. So sangha refers to the attachment, karma phal means refers to the fruits of the action which we have tyaktva, we have given up. Now this verse you can say giving two different messages, two leveled messages you can say. So one is saying Tyaktva karma phala sangam. So you have given up the desire, the attachment for the karma phala. So most of us are working for karma phala. What's the fruits of this phala for the karma? So give it up. Second is saying nitya trapto, you are always satisfied. Third word here is used nirashrayaha, not taking ashraya of anyone. Now Krishna, as you know, in general has given in Bhagavad Gita many places mam upashrayaha, but here Krishna is saying nirashrayaha. What's the difference between nirashraya and mam upashrayaha? So in the material world, many times we take shelter of some person, right, or a community or a certain government or whatever to get some karma phala. So Krishna is saying first activity you should do, come out of that, nirashrayaha. So here nirashraya does not mean don't take shelter of anyone. He's saying don't take shelter of anyone in this material world. because no one is not able to give you the shelter. Mukti pradata sarvesham Vishnu eva na sanshaya. Lord Shiva says in Padma Puran, in giver of muktis, there's only one person who can give mukti. Who's that? Vishnu eva na sanshaya. Certainly it's Lord Vishnu. No one else can, including me. Lord Shiva says, even I can't give mukti, I can't give liberation. Only Lord Vishnu can. So when we take shelter of different people, are they able to give us the shelter? Actually, no. No one can give us that shelter. So Krishna is saying first thing here is not reached to the stage of bhakti as yet. So he's saying first thing you do, nirashraya. Don't take shelter of anyone in the material world. Nitya tapto. You be satisfied in yourself. Whatever comes on their way, you do your duty, and then whatever comes on their way, we are satisfied. You work for $100, only $10 came. So what happens to our mind right now? We become agitated, isn't it? Hore, I worked so hard, I should have received $100, but I only got $10. But our devotee is always whatever comes on my way. I do my duty for whatever I was supposed to do, but whatever came on my way, I did that. And then I leave rest to Krishna. Okay, only this much Krishna has given, I'm satisfied in that. Half a chapati is enough. Radha Govind Maharaj was saying in one class very nicely, even if you have one chapati, you should still donate some portion of it, because it says it's not how much you are donating, it's the principle of donation. That means you should share, you should help. And he said, even if you eat one chapati completely, you'll not be satisfied anyway. So it doesn't matter how much help you do, but you should have this principle of helping others, giving others, giving. We are very careful in giving, and we are very careless in taking. Jo milta hai le lo. Whatever comes, very nice. Whatever comes, very nice. But when we have to give, we think, oh, should I give $1 in the hundi or maybe $2 coin? I have 2 coins, $2 and $1. Which coin I usually put? $1. A smaller one. I have 5 cents or 10 cents. Put the smaller one. So in a nice way, we should be actually giving more. Taking, we should be very careful. When we are taking services from other devotees, we should be very careful, because by taking their service, we are actually giving our punya and our piety to that person. And do we have enough to give away? We ourselves are beggars. So when we take service from other devotees, other Vaishnavas, we should be very careful. But in giving service, we should be very, very generous. Give more. Taking, very careful. But we usually go other way. If someone is respecting us, someone is giving us something nice, eatables, thank you. And we are just enjoying it without a thought of it. What can I do for this devotee? So very careful. Matang Rishi told this to his disciples. You're taking seva from this lady and you're not giving anything back to this lady. You should not do that. Matang Rishi, the Shabri's spiritual master. Very careful, very, very careful. So our mentality should change from taking to giving. Now we can also take, if we are giving pleasure to the devotee. He has made some nice prasad or got something from Vrindavan. You accept it in the mood of giving pleasure to the devotee, not taking, oh, thank you for buying me a nice dress or whatever. No, what can I do for this devotee? What can I do for this? Not in terms of exchange. This is not an exchange, but we should be careful. Give. That should be our principle. We get from Ramayana. Mother Sita is giving, Lakshman is giving, Lord Ram is giving. Dashrath is also giving. But who's taking? Kaikeyi. And what is the result of that taking? I want my son to be the king. What was the result? Just a devastation for Kaikeyi. Mother Sita and Lakshman glorified all the time. Bharat glorified. What is he doing? He is giving. So nirashraya should be understood. So at this stage in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, don't take shelter of anyone in the material world. But later he will say, mam upashraya, mam upashrita. So people need shelter. We are emotional beings. So whose shelter you should take? First thing is very clear. We're not taking shelter of anyone else. And second thing is, we are taking shelter of Krishna and only Krishna. Okay, so it's 6:09. Do one more, and then we'll definitely stop. This is same sort of thought pattern. Who wants to do is Jamati Mataji?
Okay, Prabhu. Sorry, sir. Nirashir yata chittamam.
Nirashir yata chittatma.
Tyakta sarva parigrahar.
Tyaktva sarva parigraha.
Shariram kevalam karma.
Shariram kevalam karma.
Kurvam napnoti kilbisham.
Kurvan na apnoti kilbisham.
Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence, perfectly controlled, gives up all senses of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions.
Thank you, Mataji. So similar thought patterns, you can say nirashir. Huh? So nirashraya, we read in the previous verse. So nirashir is saying without desire for the result. Yet the chittatma, but mind and intelligence is perfectly controlled, as Prabhupada writes here. Tyaktva sarva parigraha. So parigraha, sense of proprietorship over possession. So we see in Shastra many times the word aparigraha comes. We should be aparigraha. Right now, what we are parigraha. हम लोग बहुत we accumulate, whether it's property, whether it's wealth, whether it's reputation, whether it's grain. We accumulate a lot. Accumulative tendency is not there in the mind of a devotee because he's relying on Krishna. A small child, a 1-year-old child is not accumulating. He's relying on the mom and dad. Mom and dad will give, Krishna will give. Sankarshan Maharaj said in a lecture, I use Krishna as a bank. I deposit all my money in Krishna's bank, and whenever I need, Krishna gives me whatever I need that time. So Maharaj was giving a realized example. I don't have realization of that, but Maharaj, when he was speaking, he was realized. He says, I deposit everything in Krishna's bank, and I withdraw whenever I need, whatever I need, Krishna gives me. So nice, so nice. Tyaktva sarva parigraha. So he has given up the tendency of possessing. So it's not possessing is wrong. Possessive mentality is wrong. You can have $10 trillion. That's absolutely no problem at all. You can have a big position and a big knowledge and all those things, but you don't have tendency to accumulate. Yes, I have this money. I'm a caretaker of Krishna's money. I'm a caretaker of Krishna's family. I'm a caretaker of Krishna's temple. I'm a caretaker of Krishna's devotees. We have Madhav Gopal Prabhu, Sakhiradhika Mataji's Prabhuji. He's taking a service of devotee care, for example. I think Vijay Gopi Mataji also involved with so many Vaishnavis. So this is a seva which we are involved in. So it's not the possessions are condemned. Again, the possessive mentality is condemned. Tyaktva, given up, sarva parigraha. You have given up all the mentality of possessiveness. And what does he do? Shariram kevalam karma. He does work for what? Shariram kevalam. Prabhupada said, just eat. So Prabhupada said, when you are new, eat till your neck, till here. But when you become, little stable in bhakti, eat only to maintain your body and soul together. Now I feel I'm still a neophyte. Every time I go to a program, I still eat till here. I went to a program, some Vyas Puja, and when Brahmachari was sitting next to me, and he said to me, if you don't overeat in Vyas Puja, you're offending the Maharaj. This was told by Radhanath Maharaj. He also quoted Radhanath Maharaj. He said, Prabhu, if you're not overeating, you're offending this Maharaj. Like, I'm always overeating. So Prabhupada says, Shariram Kevalam Kar. So you can see this statement is from Shastra. Shariram Kevalam, just to maintain the body. You need 2 chapatis, you take 2 chapatis, no problem. So we're not judging you, you are eating 4 or 5 or 2. No, whatever is needed to maintain your body, do that. Whatever money, clothing, position, little bit you need, that's all right. But Tyaktva sarva parigraha, this is most important. And if you do that, kurva na apnoti. Apnoti means attaining, na apnoti, not attaining. What you're not attaining, kilbisha. Anyone else remember the verse in Bhagavad Gita which used the word kilbisha? Anyone? Very famous verse. 3:13.
Chapter 3.
Can you say the verse, Prabhuji? Yajna shishtasana santo muchante sarva kilbishaiha. Remember 3:13, kilbishaiha?
Yes.
Very popular verse. So, kurvan na apnoti. What you will not receive? Kilbisha. So, you can do all the activities, but the kilbisha, the path, you will not obtain. I'll read again. I'm such a man of understanding, acts with mind and intelligence, perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions. So, he's not saying gives up the possessions, gives up the proprietorship, sense of proprietorship over possession, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Because he's fully relying on Krishna. Krishna will supply me. I don't have to over-accumulate. Thus, working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. Okay, I'll stop here. If there's any questions, I'll take. Oh, no questions. All understood very well, or nothing understood. Probably I'm the second category. I'm sorry. I'm very limited. I can only share what I understood. But if you have any more questions, I can try to answer. No questions. Okay, so we'll stop here. And next week, as we discussed earlier, we have Radhashtami on 4th of September. So we'll not have our normal class. We'll have our normal class, the catch-up class for the next week, if that's okay with everyone, on 7th of September. And after that, hopefully we'll just continue with our one weekly normal classes on each Sundays. Okay, so next week, no class. Next class is on 7th September, 7 p.m. Samit Prabhuji will be sending the details. Okay, and note down your questions. If something else comes to your mind, we'll discuss before starting next time. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice, happy Radhashtami in temple. Very, very, very important festival for all of the sadhakas, for all of us. So please try to do something extra for Radharani, whatever possible in your capacity, and beg for her mercy. If we get little mercy of Radharani, life will be very successful. And our spiritual master is representative of Srimati Radharani. So whatever services your spiritual master has given, try to meditate at least on those services and refresh your vows on Radhashtami. And with the blessings of spiritual master Radharani and all the devotees, our spiritual life will go very smooth and forward, not backward. We don't want to go backward. Okay, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Samasta.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.